and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algérie's Nightly News. Here are tonight's top stories. Few hours left before the deadline set for submitting the presidential candidacy applications according to the Elections Authority, ANI. Arzu Port is in full extension to make an exportation hub by removing all the obstacles hindering investment. And with the suffocating summer heat, the Hama Park is the destination of the Algiers residents looking for relaxation in a congested capital. Welcome back. We kick off tonight's news with the Premier, Nadira Al-Arbawi, Chair of Cabinet meeting, devoted to examining the two draft executive decrees regarding the terms and conditions for the development and implementation by those subject to internal prevention programs of money laundering and financing of terrorism. Also, the modalities of registration and removal from the national list of terrorist persons and entities and the resulting effects, which are also part of the adoption of the national legal system to the relevant international tools and commitments. The government listened and examined the sectoral presentations relating to the creation of new social housing estates and at the level of the provinces of the High Plateau and the South. In the same setting, the Cabinet listened to a presentation relating to the implementation of the National Road Safety Strategy, as well as presentation on the recommendations of the study day relating to agricultural investment in the southern provinces, particularly with regard to strategic cultivations. Tasked by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, arrived on Wednesday afternoon in Accra, Ghana, to take part in the proceedings of the 45th session of the Executive Council of the African Union, slated for the 18th and 19th of this July. This ministerial meeting will be followed by the 6th Coordination Summit between the African Union, the regional economic communities, and the regional mechanisms. The agenda also includes the examination of many financial and administrative issues related to the African Union's internal management, as well as issues related to partnership established between the continental organization with different international actors, its adhesion to the G20, the follow-up of the implementation of the activation of the mechanisms of the AU joint action, and the preparation of the upcoming continental and international events. The National Independent Authority for Elections, ANI, reminds candidates of the provisions of the ordinance concerning the electoral system, especially the article detailing the procedures for submitting presidential candidacy declarations. The deadline for submission is set for tomorrow, Thursday, July 18, 2024 at midnight. Candidates must personally submit their candidacy application to the President of ANI and receive a receipt in accordance with the Constitution in the aforementioned ordinance. The application must include the candidate's full name, signature, profession, and address, along with the required documents. Candidates are required to schedule an appointment for submission at ANI headquarters, Palais des Nations, Club des Pins, by calling the number 021377467 or 20213762122. Duly completed form must be sent to rendezvous_présidentiel@ina election.dz, including details of the candidate, their accompanying persons, and the vehicles used for submitting signature forms. So far, 35 candidates have collected the individual signature forms. Any submission and legalization points are open daily from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., including holidays. As we mentioned, presidential candidates have until tomorrow to submit their files to the National Independent Authority for Elections. A process followed by the ANI's decision, then appeals at their answers in case of a refusal. A precise procedure regulated by electoral law, as explained by Manan Maafa.
It is the final stretch for presidential hopefuls aiming for Al Moradia Palace. Candidates now have only a few hours left to submit their applications to the National Independent Authority for Elections, ANI, in accordance with electoral law. The deadline for candidacy declarations is Thursday, July 18th at midnight. ANI will review the submissions and notify candidates for its decisions within 7 days.
Il faut retenir que
it is worth noting that each candidate who submits their file will receive a response from ANI within 7 days from the date of submission. In the case of refusal, the candidate has 48 hours to file an appeal, and ANI must respond within 24 hours. The appeal is then handled by the Constitutional Court.
Any candidate whose file has been rejected has the right to file an appeal with the Constitutional Court. The court will then issue a decision validating the final list of candidates, including those appeals.
Une fois le tout achevé,
Once the process is complete, the Constitutional Court will publish a final list of candidates in the official gazette.
dans le journal officiel.
It should be noted that the candidates for the upcoming September 7th presidential election are engaged in a true race against time so as to gather the required signature subscription forms.
L'ordonnance 21
Ordinance 21, 1 of March 10, 2021, concerning the electoral system stipulates that candidates must obtain 50,000 signatures across 29 provinces with no fewer than 1,200 per province. Alternatively, candidates can secure 600 signatures from elected members of parliament and local officials, also distributed across the 29 provinces.
600 signatures entre les élus du Parlement et locaux.
The list of candidates approved by ANI will be announced on July 27th. The Constitutional Court will decide in any appeals by August 3rd. After that, preparations for the election campaign will begin, including 3 days before the election.
The Arzew port is in full extension with a view to turning it into a real exportation hub to include non-hydrocarbon products. Once completed, this infrastructure will spur local development to the benefit of the local inhabitants and the national economy in general. More details with both Nawa Ismail and Ines Kullu.
Stretching over 22 kilometers, the port of Arzew is made of three main hubs, Arzew, Batiwa and Marsa al-Hajjaj. This port plays a leading role in the export of hydrocarbon products at a rate of 60%.
احنا قمنا من السابق بتسجيل مشروع
We have undertaken a project to modernize the quay in order to facilitate the exportation of raw materials. Thanks to these improvements, over 9 million tons of raw materials have been unloaded and will be exported to European, North and Latin American and African countries by the port of Arzew. The existing quay will enable the transfer of these raw materials mainly from garage billet. In addition, around 3 million tons more will be exported from the new quay.
راح هذا المادة تجي مركب توصيالي ومن تكون كاينة لا كونتيتي من تكون كاينة المادة تجي من الغارج بيلات.
Works to extend the port of Arzew have turned this infrastructure into a real port hub.
توسعة مينائية تقدر ب 52.
The extension works, which cover a service area of 52 hectares and began in March of 2023, include the completion of 4 quays with a total budget of 37 billion dinars.
هذه التوسعة بحوالي 37 مليار دينار جزائري.
شركة كونسيدار أشغال عمومية سخرت
Consider has mobilized over 500 workers and 100 units of equipment.
ممكن تصل إلى أكثر من 100 وحدة.
A new facility is also under construction to provide local ships repair and maintenance. Once completed, this project will further boost the movement of goods and imports, improve the quality of services provided, and enhance the exportation of non-hydrocarbon exports.
Good news for train passengers, as the line linking Souqahras to the Tunisian capital, Tunis, will be shortly officially launched. A second test has been carried out in good conditions, according to our own reporters Nordin Ben Absa and Melissa Kepesh.
Here at the Souqahras train station, passengers are getting ready to travel to Tunisia via the railway linking the two capitals.
I would like to congratulate both the Algerian and Tunisian people. This is indeed a boon that we must preserve. This is an experimental journey that will allow us to check the materials of this railway. A trip will be organized linking Algiers to Tunisia, knowing that the train is composed of 5 wagons. 2 of them are devoted to first class, 2 for economic class, and 1 includes a restaurant. The total capacity of the train is 300 passengers, with all means mobilized to ensure a comfortable and safe journey.
The first stopover in the Tunisian territories is Ghar Dima, well known for its historical significance.
This is a historic moment for us. We thank the Algerian government, particularly President Abdelmajid Tebboune. We also thank the Tunisian President Qais Said. Welcome to everyone. We are all brothers.
On the way back, the executives of the Tunisian company accompanied their Algerian counterparts so as to conclude a trade agreement.
We're trying to benefit from both our expertise to overcome new challenges. It's just the beginning.
At the end of the journey, the two delegations gathered in Annaba province to further discuss technical and trade details before the kickoff of the official trips.
CIAL launches a new platform to facilitate electronic bill payment and debt settlement. The water and sanitation company has launched a new version of Faturati or MyBill 2.0 with numerous facilitations to the great joy of customers. Ines Kilou once again.
Simple, faster, more intuitive, and therefore more efficient, Faturati or MyBill 2.0 is operational since July 17th. Is the improved version of the Algiers Water and Sanitation Company e-payment platform, accessible via the CIAL website or its mobile application. It enables customers in Algiers and Tipaza to pay their bills within few clicks.
On a mis en place les recommandations sur la nouvelle version Faturati.
We have implemented this recommendation on the new Faturati version for all customers categories except administrations, household, trade, industry and tourism can use this application. Administrations constitute a special administrative relationship. They cannot use this application, so the customer account present on his invoice and those codes do not change. It would be enough to register the code only once and you can use it during all the commercial relationship with CIAL.
Il suffit de les enregistrer une seule fois et peut les utiliser pendant toute la relation commerciale avec CIAL.
The platform also incorporates an option that allows indebted customers to adjust their payment according to their financial capacity, up to a limit of 50% of receivable.
Les clients peuvent payer leurs factures mode échéancier de paiement.
Customers can have their invoices paid in worldwide installments in the case of being indebted. They can pay up to 50% of their debt. We have removed the key that appears on the invoices. The customers claimed on this key that did not facilitate the task for them.
Le paiement des factures, mais les clients ont vraiment réclamé sur cette clé qui ne facilitait pas la tâche à nos clients.
The process is end-to-end secure for data protection with transactions immediately supported. Note that since its installation in 2016, the previous version has recorded over 600,000 electronic payment transactions, a figure that is set to grow with the launch of the new platform.
On to the operational report of the People's National Army's activity in the past week. In the context of the fight against terrorism, detachments of the People's National Army intercepted 16 support elements to terrorist groups during separate operations across the national territory. In the framework of the fight against organized crime and the continuation of the tireless efforts aimed at countering the scourge of drug trafficking in our country, combined detachments of the PNA intercepted in coordination with the different security services in operations across the military regions of 57 drug traffickers and averted attempts to introduce 5 quintals and 96 kilograms of processed kief through the borders with Morocco, while 21.6 kilograms of cocaine and 449,700 psychotropic tablets were seized. In Tamra, Sport Jbeji Mukhtar and Ingzam, detachments of the People's National Army arrested 24 individuals and seized 26 vehicles, 93 generators, 57 jackhammers, quantities of mixture of raw gold and stones, in addition to explosives, detonation tools, and other equipment used in illegal gold mining operations. On the other hand, 11 other individuals were arrested in 1 Kalashnikov submachine gun, 4 Heinten rifles, 10,800 liters of fuel, as well as 59 tons of foodstuffs intended for smuggling and speculation, and 1/4 quintals of tobacco during separate operations across the national territory. Similarly, border guards thwarted at the level of our national coast attempts at illegal immigration of 399 individuals aboard traditionally made boats, while 433 illegal immigrants of different nationalities were arrested across the national territory. In other news, Algeria strongly condemned in the strongest terms the despicable terrorist attack committed near the Imam Ali Mosque, the Omani capital Muscat. In these delicate circumstances, Algeria expressed full support with the fraternal Omani Sultanate while extending sincere condolences to the families of the victims, wishing the wounded a swift recovery. This sinful attack is a reminder of Algeria's rejection of all forms of violence and terrorism, while it reaffirms its full readiness to cooperate in the efforts of the international community to confront this scourge, which is incompatible with all human and moral values. Today marks 285 days since the beginning of the Zionist attacks, and nothing has changed. The Palestinian people are still enduring ethnic cleansing under the watch of the whole world. The non-stopping Zionist bombings result in the death of dozens of Palestinians every day. Wissam Abu Zaid من المعافى.
Over 40 martyrs and hundreds of injured is the toll of 2 massacres committed by the Zionist occupation army within 1 hour in the central and southern Gaza Strip. Additional massacres have occurred in various areas, increasing the number of martyrs, particularly among children, women, and the elderly. Hospitals are completely overwhelmed amid a lack of personnel and resources, exacerbating the pressure as the genocidal war against the Palestinian people enters its 10th month in a row.
As you can see, the hospitals are overcrowded. My brother and his wife are dead and children are being killed. Why is this happening?
In Gaza City, the Zionist occupation army also targeted a school sheltering displaced people, resulting in 23 martyrs and dozens of injured. This attack comes as health authorities have called on the international community to save the healthcare system by providing necessary support to keep hospitals operational.
When the first missile struck the schoolyard, I couldn't see anything. I just wanted to catch a glimpse of my mother one last time. When the second missile hit, bodies were shattered, creating a horrific scene.
For his part, the director of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East condemned the bombings of 8 schools by Zionist occupation forces in the recent days. In Khan Yunis, in the southern part of the enclave, an F-16 fighter jet targeted a building housing dozens of families. Extracting bodies and searching for survivors is nearly impossible. In the Gaza Strip, no place is safe, and every Palestinian is a potential target.
The Hama Park, namely Jardin d'Essai, is impressing not only citizens coming from different provinces, but to foreigners as well, with its natural beauty and botanical diversity. Minisa Kebash tells us more.
The Hama Garden, or Jardin d'Essai, is witnessing a large number of visitors coming from all over the national territory to discover its beauty and enjoy the breeze of its trees.
We came from Adrar province to enjoy our day here in this garden, especially with heat wave. We came from Mustaganem and we are truly impressed by the beauty of Jardin d'Essai. This is a wonderful place to relax.
With its incredible greenery, the garden attracts as well foreigners who came to discover the country and its beautiful and historical resources.
I came from the French city, Lyon. We have a big garden there, but Jardin d'Essai has another dimension. It's incredible. Therefore, I call on everyone visiting Algeria to come and discover this beauty.
Par Alger, profitez-en. Le parc du Hama, c'est vraiment quelque chose à voir.
Je viens de Paris. Je suis venu hier soir.
I am from Paris. I heard a lot about Jardin d'Essai, and indeed it is incredible. It's like we are in the Amazon jungle or even in Thailand.
De Amiens, de France. C'est la première fois que je viens visiter le...
I came from France, and this is my first time visiting Jardin d'Essai. It is such a pleasure being here.
Au soleil en Algérie, du coup, oui, ça fait plaisir.
An entire different atmosphere is installed in the garden, far from the city's noises, an area where you breathe fresh air, let steam off, and recharge the batteries for the summer.
With these enchanting images, we wrap up tonight's news. Take care.